from Long Island, New York. From the southpaw side, Johnny Meyer. From Fresno, California, Ed Bourdase. Two more of the world's greatest bowlers on championship bowling in a three-game match. From the Firestone Bowlorama Lanes in Akron, Ohio. From Akron, Ohio, it's championship bowling. This is Fred Wolf. We have two more of our field of 24 of the world's greatest bowlers in weekly competition. Our purse, some $70,000. This week, as usual, the winner receives $1,000, the loser $500. 5 strikes in a row, a $250 bonus. Every strike on top of that, $50 additional if they're in succession in any one game. A 300 score worth $10,000. All competition is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. Each of our field appears twice. Total pins for the 6 games will qualify our 2 finalists for the finals with a $15,000 added purse here on championship bowling in Akron, Ohio. We'll be ready for this one in a moment. I'd like to introduce Bill Bonetta from Fresno, California, who'll be working with us. Bill, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm sure you're well acquainted with these two boys. Looks like we ought to have a pretty good match.
Yes, we have a left-hander here, and Ed Bourdase, a stroker. It should be interesting to watch the 2 different styles. Johnny's left-handed, but I think he thinks right-handed, so we'll be talking about that later.
You know, Bill, this is the first time we've ever had a left-hander on championship bowling over these many years, so it should be interesting.
Yes, and as well as the left-handers have been doing in the past 2 years or so, I think it's a little tougher for us right-handers.
Let's find out. We'll have them out here in a minute, Bill. You get ready, and we'll introduce the boys. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, from Long Island, New York, a left-hander on championship bowling, Johnny Meyer. I could call you Big John, couldn't I?
All right.
You're a pretty big boy. How much you weigh?
About 195.
195. Well, you got a guy not as tall as you, but he weighs about that much. Let's bring him out here. From Fresno, California, Ed Bourdase. Edward? Well, nice to see you again. I'm going to ask, do you believe in hypnosis?
No, I don't, but
you don't?
If I come out on the short end of the stick, I may think about taking it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, because you played the record, Ed, you all set?
Well, I don't have a record, Fred. I have a tape.
Oh, a tape.
Yes, and I think it works out quite well for me.
Do you know where you are right now?
Yes.
You do?
Where are we again? Let me think.
See? He doesn't know. All you know is you got to bowl 3 games and you got to beat your opponent. That's what you're...
I don't even know who my opponent is. I got to beat them pins.
You pay no attention. We're ready to go for the first game. Ed Bourdase, Fresno, California. Johnny Meyer, Long Island, New York. Akron, are you ready? All right, boys, good luck to you. Ready to go, the first game of 3 on championship bowling from Akron, Ohio. Johnny Meyer, a youngster from Long Island, New York. The first time a left-hander has ever appeared on championship bowling. Bill Allen, our other left-hander in our field of 24. The big turn throws on the right-hander side, leaves the 10-pin. John Van Loan Meyer. Interesting thing here is that John does bowl left-handed, but that's about the only thing he does left-handed. Eats right-handed. And Bill Bonetta, working with us this week, has a little story about why John is left-handed. When we get to that. There's the cover. As Ed Bourdase now, a great believer in hypnosis, and he practices it. And in 1964, on the PBA tour, when he started this hypnosis business, he proved a point because he did just a great job. He didn't win an event, but he finished runner-up twice in the Pontiac Open to Bill Hardwick, the Princeton, New Jersey Open to Buzz Fazio. Nice reach, and he's in there with a strike. As that 10-pin did not topple, it seemed to be standing upright and moved into the pin receptacle. Bill, we have a new name for the pit
Yes,
now.
you do, Fred.
You know quite a lot about this fella, Bill. He's from your hometown, Fresno, California.
Ed is primarily a stroker, and one of the reasons that he uses hypnosis is to increase his relaxation and powers of concentration.
Bourdase has the first strike. How long will it take to get the double? Not very long. So Bourdase is off with two, and Johnny Meyer, the young left-hander, making his first appearance on championship bowling, moving in on the right side. Born in Brooklyn, New York in 1939. Has a son named John Jr., his wife Lynn, better known as Apples Meyer. Long Island, New York. Big turn. There it is. So Meyer gets one, and we go into the third frame. Meyer now 20 on a strike. Bourdase is on 2. All competition moving from our right to the left. Johnny Meyer now trying for his double. In a hurry. Big turn. He never gets there. He has missed the head pin. 4 pins looking at him. And with left-handers, you got to look at them backwards, Bill. The 1, 3, 6, 9.
Yes, it's rather difficult to count those pins, Fred. We're so accustomed to leaving the 1, 2, 4, and 8, we'll say. And when a left-hander talks about some of his most difficult spares, we don't know what he's talking about in most cases.
Johnny has a tendency of falling to his left after he throws that ball. He's missed that spare. He gets 2 of them. He leaves the 3 and the 9, and Meyer is open in the third. 38-46. Bourdase now in on the right side. He started with 2. 2 good ones. Solid. Come on. There's another one. So Bourdase on his way to that bonus department in a hurry. He has the first 3, 5 in a row in any one game. Starts you at $250. $50 for each additional strike. Will it be 4?
See that little deep breath he takes to relax?
That's there. Look out, 7 pins. Well, Ed was a little concerned there. He thought he might leave the 7. It looked like it. I'm just wondering, Bill, if he's out of the chute fast like this, does this hypnosis wear off before he gets to 3 games?
That's a good question, Fred. It has appeared to do that, just that, in about 3 or 4 of the last times he started real good.
We may have to bring that tape out here and give him a little injection to get into the 3rd game. I don't think Meyer will approve of that, however. Johnny Meyer throws that big one. Right back in there. You're noticing Meyer's style, he seems to drop that left shoulder, and that, of course, tends to have his whole body drifting left, and he just has to make that lunge to his left side, but he does that after the release of the ball, so obviously that does not bother him too much.
Might be interesting to note, Fred, that he stops about 3 feet behind the foul line.
Well, we'll watch him. Very short steps, yeah. Almost a shaker. Leaves the 10 pin. And for the right-hander, that hit, of course, would have been a 7-pin lead.
Since this is a relatively easy spare for Johnny, I'd like to tell you that story. He told me that he was about 5 years old, and he was at a picnic tossing rocks in a lake, and he happened to hit a lady just above the eye, and it scared him so much that he started throwing left-handed from there on. It's a true story, and it shows you how psychologically we make changes sometimes.
Johnny Meyer, Long Island, New York, covers the spare. John still looking for his first double, and he looks at his opponent, Ed Bourdase, who is on 4. Chance to cash in. With this strike, 5 in a row in any one game, $250. Bourdase takes the deep breath. He has hypnotized himself, and he has one more. How about that? At the end of 5, Meyer, 66 spare. Bourdase has the first 5. We're in the 6th, on 5. Bourdase right down there, and he lays that one just about as deep as he could get it. And this fella has thrown 6 strikes. I don't think there's been any variation in any of them. The 7-pin looked a little stubborn. However, he was solid. There was no doubt about it.
Yes, every ball was right in the 1-3 pocket, about as tight as you could put it.
So Ed Bourdase now on his way. He's up to $300. Meyer throws too high. He has the 6-10. Johnny Meyer, he won the Houston Open in 1963. On the 64 Winter Tour, he picked up $2,600. Hurry up. Covers the spare. He was the runner-up in the World's Invitational in 1963 to Jimmy St. John, another one of our stars here, 24 of the world's greatest bowlers in action. Averaged 217 for the 100 games. He averaged 220 in the 64-game finals. Just a youngster, born in Brooklyn in 1939. In the 7th. Oh, he's going to be weird. John seems to be having a little problem over there in the left side, Bill.
Well, Fred, it's his first appearance, and that first game is awfully difficult for a bowler to get accustomed to the lighting and the fact that his opponent's got 6 strikes in a row and so on. I think Johnny will come through in the next 2 games.
Johnny Meyer looking at the 1-3-6. Look out. Too much of the head pin. He's open again. 2 misses for Johnny Meyer. Ed Bourdase moves in on the right side. The man who believes in hypnosis, who admits to being hypnotized right at this very moment. The question is, will it last long enough? Takes the deep breath. He's already earned $300. This one, $350, too high. Too high, breaks it up, nothing but the 6-pin. So Bourdase going halfway, the first 6. That was a good ball, Bill. He threw that pretty good. He just missed his spot.
Yes, I believe the ball rolled beautifully, but he's off target.
Ed has picked up $7,800 on the 1964 Winter Tour, appearing in 8 events. Ed has been averaging about $1,000 an event. He was runner-up in the Pontiac Open to Bill Hardwick. He was runner-up in the Princeton, New Jersey Open to Buzz Fazio. In 1963, he earned $17,000. He is a former AMF mechanic. 10-pin now stops him. This fellow's quite an athlete, too. He was a semi-pro baseball pitcher and a semi-pro football quarterback and a great football player. Actually turned down a college football scholarship. Had a tremendous liking for bowling. Learned how to become an AMF mechanic. Then decided he'd rather throw them. And he's done very well there. At the 10-pin, Bourdase covers. Has himself a 78-pin lead here as Johnny Meyer, the young southpaw from Long Island, New York, moves in on the right side in the 8th frame. Almost the 10-pin. You pointed out, Bill, that John ends up some 3 feet short of that foul line. He takes 4 steps. He starts up on the 12-foot mark, but his steps are so short. Must wear about a size 12 shoe.
Just watch his right foot about 3 feet behind.
Yeah,
then he lunges.
There it is. So Meyer covers up the spare in the 8th. And Johnny moves over on the left side where it's been nothing but trouble. He's missed the head pin twice, missed the spare both times.
Fred, the reason now Johnny appears to lunge, he tries to get his left hip into the shot, just as you would in some of your golf shots, and he believes that gives him direction. See, just a little bit.
Well, he finally got in over there and leaves a solid 7. John's done a great job in the East. He's been the winner of the Newsday Eastern Open, a $3,000 event. He won that in 61. He was runner-up in 62, runner-up again in 63, and he just missed the 7-pin, and I'm sure he didn't win in any event missing spares like that. That's 3 misses, all on the left side. We're in the 9th. Ed Bourdase, Fresno, California. Nice and easy. There it is. So Bourdase has only had one ball out of there. That was in the 7th frame after he started with 6. He was too high, left the 6 pin, came right back and left a 10 pin in the 8th. Now he has the big one going for him in the 9th, all the way for 268.
Ed stands with the weight distributed on both feet, and then he shifts the weight over to his left hip, if you'll notice carefully, Fred. And this relaxes him and gets him started on that right foot. Takes 4 steps.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. Well, you say that Bourdase is a stroker, and certainly he is looking like a stroker. Now, possibly some of our bowlers might not know exactly what you mean by that, Bill. You tell us what a stroker is.
A stroker, in a sense, is a bowler who reaches and rolls the ball rather than as opposed to lift and turn. Johnny is a lift and turn bowler, and Ed sort of reaches out a little bit more than the average pro even, and he lets the ball do all the work. He likes to reach out there about as far as he can.
All right, a nice kick on the 4th end. Bourdase crowding the 4-7 out of there for 268 with a count, and what a start. Ed Pop Bottles Bourdase, nickname that some of the boys on the tour have put on him. And here's a Californian that was born in California, in Oakland, California, 1928. Whoa, he dropped that one. Well, he got 8 of it. I think somebody turned off the machine, Bill.
Well, if you're going to throw a ball like that or roll one like that, that's the time to do it. That count ball.
Johnny Meyer in the 10th.
That's more like Johnny's ball right there.
Right there. He's carrying. I was just checking our records here over the years on championship bowling, Bill, and the lowest single game that has ever been rolled, Harold Asplin, 141. Of course, Johnny had that covered. He had 138 in the 9th. He still, with an open, would have had 147. But he's going to have to hustle to beat our low 3.
Ooh.
There's a 6-pin. The lowest 3 games ever shot on championship bowling, shot by Maury Kramer in the Coral Gables, Florida series, 508. We always talk about the big ones. We might as well mention some of the low totals. So don't feel bad. They all can do it. There's the cover.
All right.
For Johnny Meyer, 158. For Ed Bourdase, 266. This is Fred Wolf, along with Bill Bonetta, on championship bowling with the world's greatest bowlers in action at the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio, the rubber capital of the world. Here are the scores for the first game. Johnny Meyer from Long Island, New York, 158. For Ed Bourdase, Fresno, California, great performance, 266. How did you like that? Ed Bourdase out in front, opening with 266, 9 strikes out of a possible 12 from Fresno, California. The man that believes in hypnosis admits to being hypnotized for this appearance on championship bowling this week. Throwing, looking a little tight, and he kicked it out. The 4-7-10 seemed to be a little outside of his mark that time, Bill.
Yes, of course, it's pretty hard to keep that ball in the pocket all the time, Fred, and these bowlers are under tension, even though he's ahead over 100 pins.
And you and I are wondering whether he is still hypnotized or not. There's the cover. Now, you mentioned earlier that he's very fast out of the chute, and that he has a tendency of possibly running out of this result.
Yes, it may be interesting to note whether he does that again here.
Big John, 6-pin. That's the 4-pin for the right-hander. Throwing that ball quite well here on the right side, but John has had all of his trouble on the left. He's had 3 open frames. He missed the 7-pin. He missed the head pin twice. and missed both of the spares. At the 6th pin. There's the spare, and I don't think Johnny was too sure of that one. But with that big winder, that big bender he throws, that ball covers a lot of the lane all the time. These pins, of course, are AMF-matched, registered tournament pins. They're hand-selected. You might be interested, too, that there is not more than 1 ounce variation in any of the pins, in any of the sets. In fact, they're all registered. Lanes have been conditioned for each match. Meyer doesn't get there, he leaves the 3-pin.
The whole key to bowling on this type of show, Fred, is to get that first double, and Johnny's still looking for it, but I think once he gets it, he'll be well on his way. Let's hope he gets a couple of bonuses out of this.
At the 3 and the spare. So Ed Bourdase now moves in, starting from the right, going to our right to our left. 2 frames, each bowler bowling 2 complete frames. The game starting always on the left side. That bowler bowling 1 frame, taking his seat, and then the competition moves from right to left. As we look at the bowlers in action here in Akron, Ohio on championship bowling. Look out. Too high this time, he got the split. The 6, 7, 10. Now, from what I can see, Bill, he seemed to be a little outside in the first frame over on the left side, and to me, he looked a little outside here in
Yes.
the 2nd frame.
He just signified that he pulled that ball a little bit. Now, that's not always intentional, of course. In fact, most times it's unintentional.
He's open. 17 to 9. 26 for Ed Bourdase, and with a 266 start. Total pins for their 2 appearances, or 6 games, will qualify our 2 finalists for the final 2 weeks here in Akron, Ohio. A $15,000 added purse in the finals. The winner here this week gets $1,000.
Good ball.
10 pin. So it was so easy in the first game when Bourdase started with 6 and he finished with 3, actually with 4. Threw a bad ball in the 10th on his last ball after getting the first 2. And Ed is having some problems getting lined up here in the 2nd game. At the 10 pin and the spare.
Sometimes, Fred, when the opponent is struggling a little bit, the other fellow gets going, and since Ed is having a little trouble, maybe Johnny will get a little bit more loose here and start a string.
There we go. He can really splash them, can't he, Bill?
Boy,
We've
he
seen a lot of
surely
those
can.
in practice.
Of course, those are beautiful strikes. I like to see them, Fred. I like to see those pins dance. It shows the bowler has put something on a ball, the finger lift.
Well, let's see if John can get his first double.
Ooh.
And the 7 pin stops him. Johnny missed this one in the first game on about the same hit. So Johnny Meyer has been unable to get the double. He had 1, 2, 3 strikes in the first game. This is the 4th strike he has worked on. 4 chances for a double, and John has not been able to turn it in. You can't win matches without doubles. This time he covers with spare. So at the end of 4, Meyer is 59 spare. Bourdase moves in the 4th frame, working on a spare. Four pin. Bourdase moving a little back where he started. Now, it seemed to me, Bill, that he's moved back a little inside again. He'd been drifting out the last few frames.
Yes, these bowlers have the ability to analyze their own mistakes and correct them and come back into the groove.
At the 4 pin, the cover for Ed Bourdase, Fresno, California. So at the end of 4, it's Bourdase, 45 spare. Johnny Meyer, 59 spare. John has picked up 14 pins. Bourdase started the first game with 6 in a row, looking for his first strike. There it is. So Ed's probably back now on that hypnosis kick. In case you tuned in a bit late, he has admitted to the fact that he has hypnotized himself. Kiddingly, I believe. He said, I don't even know who I'm bowling. All I know is there are 10 pins down there. Too high. Johnny Meyer crowding that pocket. Leaves the 2 and the 4. He's got it. Nice cover. So at the end of 5, here in game number 2, Meyer 77 spare, Bourdase is 65, and he works on a strike. Meyer in the 6th, big turn, too high, wide open, the 6, 7, 10. So Johnny, looking at his, this will be his 4th open frame. He had 3 misses on the left side in the first game. Missed the head pin twice and missed the 7 pin. Gives it a try, getting 8. That gives him 94, 102. 102 in the 6th, a chance for Bourdase now to get himself back in this game to protect that lead. Bourdase takes the deep breath. He's on his line this time. Right there, gets the big double. And Bourdase now on his way to bonus money. He needs 3 more strikes. He has 2. He's in the 7th. Hurry up. He didn't get there. The 2, 4, 5, 8. They call that one the bucket. And Bourdase will tell you one of his tough shots. 2, 4, 5, and of course with the 8 makes it a bit tougher, along with the 3, 6, 10. These boys will all tell you they're about the toughest shots they've got. Careful. Nice cover. Ed Bourdase picking up that shot, the 2, 4, 5, 8. Shot that he did very well with in 1964 on Make That Spare when he had a 9-week run winning over $9,000. Johnny Meyer from Long Island. Where did he throw that one? Well, Johnny looks a little down, Bill.
Yeah, yes, he does. Fred, I think the audience now is getting behind him, and perhaps with a little encouragement, Johnny could find something here.
Shaking his head slightly. He'd like to get this one. Get him started. On the nose. Almost got away with another one. He leaves the 7 pin. He missed this one in the first game. With that big rounder, this has got to be a pretty tough shot for him. There it is. So Meyer covers the spare. Ed Bourdase now in the 8th frame. Bourdase is leading by 9 pins. That gives him a lead of 117 pins. The big turn. He sets one. He's there. Big strike, and Ed now will move left and see if he can correct the situation.
This may be a good time to differentiate between determination and concentration. The average bowler is determined to get a strike at a key spot such as this, but he grits his teeth and so on. Ed's going to try to relax, I'm sure, and roll that ball.
Solid 10, and that hurt Mr. Bourdase. He had a chance to pull this game out. You can't hit him any better than that. Had a chance for 221 with that one.
Plus, I believe he was thinking about that bonus. He had just enough room there.
The 266 start, a 220 game would have given him a great 2-game start. Bourdase is a former finalist. He was a finalist in the Winston-Salem series, losing in the finals to Johnny Gunther. He has an average of 210 for 18 games on championship bowling over the years. Johnny Meyer throws, and he has a strike to go out on. Meyer with a strike in the 9th. Chance for 202. through 1964, Bill, I noticed that Bourdase, even as successful as he has been on the tour, had never won a PBA event. Meyer for the first double. Come on, John. Atta boy. Yes, sir. So Johnny has his first double. This may relax him a bit. Maybe we can make it a triple.
That's good.
There we are. So Johnny now has 3 in a row, a chance to make it 2-0-2. If he can get the full count here, he's got to win this, the second game. But, of course, Bourdase piled up a tremendous margin in the first game, 108 pins, which included a start of the first 6, giving Bourdase $300 in bonus money. He got 9 of them, 201. So the Fresno, California star, Ed Bourdase, moving in on the right, plants his left foot where he wants it, brings in the right, shifts his weight, takes the deep breath, reaches out and hits the nose, and he's wide open. 6, 7, 10. And so that's the second time that Bourdase has looked at this shot, this game. Both times on the right side. Could be. Almost. Just a little too much of the 6-10. So Bourdase is open in the 10th, settles for 177. Johnny Meyer, 201. Fred Wolf along with Bill Bonetta here on Championship Bowling from the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio, home of the Professional Bowlers Association. Championship Bowling here in Akron, Ohio will be ready for the third and final game. Now in Conversation Corner, we have Father Redder of the St. Vincent's Church here in Akron. Certainly a leader in community affairs and also a leader on the bowling lanes when he participates with his parishioners. Now, Father, they tell me that you keep that ball rolling pretty good.
Yes, I have over the years, Fred. I've always enjoyed bowling, and particularly in our parish league. We find that it is a wonderful recreational event for our mixed leagues, and it gives both the men and the women a chance to participate in a social level. We also find that it's a strong bond of unity among our parishioners, and it is an event, a recreational event, that the parishioners can participate not only in the winter months, the inclement weather, but also year-round.
I would like to ask you personally, Father, how do you, have you mastered the bowling game yourself?
Not quite as well as the professionals do, Fred, but I've enjoyed bowling, and usually I bowled anywhere between 165 and 170 in organized bowling.
Thank you very much, Father Redder, here in Akron, Ohio. We're ready now for the third and final game on Championship Bowling. Johnny Meyer, the youngster from Long Island, New York, starting the third and final game on Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio. He's a little tight, leaves the 6-pin. Trailing by 84 pins. Bourdase, of course, thinking about 3 games. Total pins are important. Both these boys will make another appearance against a different opponent. It's total pins for the 6 games to qualify our 2 finalists. The last 2 weeks here on Championship Bowling, where you see the world's greatest bowlers. The cover for Johnny Meyer and Bourdase moving in on the right side. As Bill Bonetta said earlier in the opening of the show, very fast out of the chute, and he came out fast with 6 in a row and hasn't done too much since. He did finish with 3, however, for 266. His second game, he caught 1 double, but he had an open. Ready, throws, too tight to 4-7. What do you think Bourdase's doing here, Bill?
Well, whatever he's doing, Fred, he ought to look into the recording again, because he is getting a good start. Now he's going to have to find a way to hypnotize himself into continuing that surge he starts out with.
Maybe he needs that book you were talking about. What's that book called?
Psycho-Cybernetics. Quite a few of the pros are going into a positive mental attitude, and his new fine book, Psycho-Cybernetics, anything that increases their powers of concentration and their mental attitude and actually the workings of the mind. Billy Whalo has made a few comments about that, and some of the other bowlers. Bud Hodson, one of my good buddies, won quite a considerable amount of money. I make that spare by reading those books.
There it is. 10-pin. Bourdase now having trouble getting him down on the pocket hits. We look at a 10-pin in the second. Meyer trails by 84. $1,000 goes to the winner. Bourdase picked up a couple of American Bowling Congress titles, won the Team Classic Championship in Detroit in '61. We had a chance to see that. Oh, boy. He was out there. Was the runner-up in the same event in 1962 at Des Moines. And Ed spent 1962 with the Fresno Bombers in the National Bowling League, along with Bill Bonetta. Look out. Too high. Breaks it up. 4-7. Meyer seems to be raising up as he gets to the foul line, too. At least he's not doing the same thing too often. One time he's falling to his extreme left. That time he seemed to be almost upright at the foul line, Bill, if you notice.
He's trying to make some type of adjustment. His whole swing appears to be looser, but he's not on target yet.
AMF lets you bowl at a livelier pace with automatic pin spotters and, of course, the fabulous AMF spare maker. In the third, here it comes. He doesn't quite get there, and he leaves himself the 3. 3 and the 5. Now look at these backwards, Bill. I get a little
pretty
confused.
difficult, isn't it?
I thought that was the 8, and I thought it was the 9, but it's the 3-5. This would be the 2-5 for the right-hander. The same shot, at least. There's the cover, and we look for our first strike here in the third game. Bourdase going in with 443. There's a good reach. 10-pin again, 2 in a row for Bourdase. I'm wondering, Bill, as a former AMF pin spotter mechanic, that Bourdase wouldn't devise some way here that that 10-pin might fall down a little more often.
Well, the best way is to knock it down with the ball.
There it is. So we've had 3 spares converted here for each man. 5 of these 6 spares have been 1-pinners. So Ed now moves left. After starting with 6 in a row, all good ones, solid. Finishing with 3. There we see a mixer. That's the first time that Bourdase has shaken them up a bit, Bill.
Yes, that ball had a lot of revolutions, Fred, and revolutions seem to be the key to a working ball today. That ball revolves smoothly, evenly, all the way down. It's got a good chance to mix those pins. And of course, that's something that bowler has to apply to the ball with his fingers. A lift. There's one.
Well, that's the ball that has made Johnny quite famous. He can come in there thin, much like Bill Allen from Orlando, Florida, the other left-hander in our field here of these 24 great stars that have all proven themselves on the Professional Bowlers Association tours that you see all over the country. When they stop into your city, you should get out and watch them. We're in the 5th. A double, too high, the 4-7 for Meyer. John finished the second game with a triple. He went in with 1 in the 9th, got 2 in the 10th, and that's been the extent of his string of any strikes. Bourdase opened with 6. He closed with 4.
Johnny left the 3-5 last time, and he made an adjustment and went high. This happens to most of us.
Meyer with the cover now, 76 and a spare going as Bourdase moving in on the right side. Ed is on a strike.
This is a key shot right here.
Dropped it. He didn't get that one out. You could hear it bump right at the foul line, Bill. The 4-7 up there.
Ed is, Bourdase is experiencing some difficulty with lane number 26, and it could possibly be mental. He isn't stroking quite as well as he was in the first game.
for the 7th. The spare for Bourdase. So at the end of 5, Meyer 76 spare, Bourdase 78 spare. We're in the 6th, the final game. Doesn't quite get there. Bourdase has the bucket, the 2-5-8. The 2-4-5-8, the 4-pin is out. And that won't make much difference, will it, Bill? The shot's about the same thing.
I think it's less of a target. I think this is even a little bit more difficult. I think you think of all the things.
You feel the 4-pin is a help then, looking at these.
Something to guide the ball between a 4 and a 5.
2-4-5-8, covered beautifully. As the AMF spare maker indicated, the ball between the 2 and the 5, and Ed did exactly that. We're in the 6th frame for Johnny Meyer, the youngster from Long Island, New York. Oh, he turned that one. He really gave that one a twist.
That was the Hollywood ball. That's what we call a roundhouse circus ball.
Taking the scenic route.
Yes, it did. In Ohio, they'd say around Sandusky.
Sandusky, around Sandusky. Well, this game's a dead heat with a conversion here. Both boys will be 95 on spares going into the 7th. And Meyer turns it into a spare. You'll see them all here on Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio, the world's greatest bowling stars in match game competition. Bowlers like Ray Bluth, Harry Smith, Billy Whalou, Billy Hardwick, to name a few, Bill Bonetta, the 6-pin, and Meyer having trouble getting that ball in the 1-2 pocket. You know, maybe you don't realize it, but in many high schools and colleges, bowling is now offered as part of the physical education program. So you see, bowling is good for you, as well as being great fun. So whether you're 6 or 60, get out, have fun, bowl. Few activities combine relaxation, fun, and healthful recreation. Why don't you check in at your local bowling center? If you don't know how to bowl, it's so easy to learn. If you watch Championship Bowling, you'll be hearing from Esther Woods, one of our great instructresses who passes along help convince the 4-pin for Bourdase. So Ed is having trouble getting strikes here since the first game, when he had 6, he had 10 strikes, didn't he?
9.
Sam, 9 strikes, 9 out of a possible 12. He hasn't had many since. Both boys now 114 with spares.
Well, they each have 3 spares, a strike, and 3 spares. Boom.
There it is. Bourdase now beginning to shake them up. They were fighting to get down. Bourdase now with a strike in the 8th. Let's look at him. He still has a chance for 224. That'll give him 667. And I think it'll settle for that right now.
Could be.
Little tight. Leaves the 6-pin. Johnny Meyer making his first appearance on Championship Bowling, and I think this fellow will remember this for a long time, Bill.
Yes, he will. I think that Johnny practice a little bit more and get the feeling of the lanes a little bit better and the lights, and come back strong. Whoops.
Well, he never got there to that one. That's his 4th miss. Johnny Meyer. As a youngster, I'm sure that this has got to be chalked up to experience. We're in the 9th. 3rd and final game. Little tight. He leaves that 6-pin again.
Freddie, it wasn't too long ago that in one of our PBA tournaments we were practicing for a small amount, such as a little soft drink or so, and I was shooting 230, 240 and losing to this very same Johnny Meyer game after game.
Look out. Well, Well, he has to give that ball, of course, a lot of room. I think he got just a little careless over here on the right side. Now let's see what Mr. Bourdase can do. Ed will ball out. Ninth frame. Big strike for Bourdase. Oh, he dropped it. Ed just turns away from it. The 1, 2, 4, and the 8, and I believe that hypnosis machine stopped running some time ago, Bill.
Boy, unluckily for Ed, we seem to call that. He got out of the shooter right, and then, as has happened several times before, something happens, he just doesn't keep going.
I think he's got to get a longer tape or something. Covers the spot. Bourdase in the ninth. Ed has won a couple of great titles out in Northern California, the Northern California Match Game Championship. He won it in '58. He won it again in 1960. He's been the West Coast Match Game Champion. Always on the All-West Coast team. Come on, boy. There we are. A little delayed action over there in the left corner, but Bourdase has the strike. Let's see if he can get a double for 204. After a big start, 266, it looked like Bourdase was long gone up in that 700 bracket. Ed has had some problems. That's better. 10 pin. 10 pin stops him, so Bourdase goes through this game without a double.
Of course, we're talking about Ed starting out, Fred. But back, a few years ago, he did shoot 6 beautiful games right in a row. I believe he averaged over 250 something.
That was in a roll-off, I believe, out in San Francisco. There's the cover. So Ed Bourdase, with 194, he has 637. Sam Trophy, our statistician and the pro here at Firestone Bolorama Lanes, totaling them up, 637 for Bourdase. Meyer with a 7-pin count. And Johnny's going to have himself a rather embarrassing 530 with this conversion. And he's got it. The count for 179. 179 for Johnny Meyer. He went in with 359. 538 with a full count.
There's the ball.
Well, there's another 6 then for Johnny Meyer, the youngster from Long Island, New York, who I believe is rather glad that it's all over. We'll check these totals, be right back, and have a word or two with these two great bowling champions as they appear on Championship Bowling. This is Fred Wolf along with Bill Bonetta. We're here at the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio, where the World Series of Golf is played annually. Here are the official results for Johnny Meyer from Long Island, New York. 158, 201, 178, the total 537. For Ed Bourdase from Fresno, California, 266, 177, 194, the total 637. How about this match, ladies and gentlemen? I might ask you, John, how about this match?
Well,
you're a little unhappy. Put your chin up. It's not that bad. That's it.
I probably never should have got out of bed this morning,
Yeah,
or else maybe I should go back and try to get out again.
Well, I'll tell you, you'll be making another appearance, John, and we're looking forward to much bigger things than 537. You still get $500. That's a little short of $1 a pin.
Thank you very much, Fred.
Okay,
maybe
boy.
I'll see if Ed will loan me his tape next time.
That's right. Maybe we can hypnotize you, but you see, it runs out on him. It's only good for the first 6
Well, I'll
frames.
get an extra long one. See, I'm a little taller. I can take a little more.
Ed, there's $300 for your bonus money. You started the first game with 6 strikes in a row, and then
Right.
we run out of hypnosis there.
Well,
along
the record broke. Johnny got to that record. I didn't know it, see?
There's $1,000, so that'll set some kind of a record, too.
And buy another record with it.
And good luck to you, Ed. And John, welcome here on Championship Bowling. John, your first appearance.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
sure you'll never forget it.
No, I'm afraid I won't.
Okay, my boy, we'll see you again. Johnny Meyer, Ed Bourdase. Try to join us again next week here on Championship Bowling, television's #1 bowling show from the Firestone Bolorama Lanes in Akron, Ohio, where each week you see 2 of the world's greatest bowlers in match game competition over $70,000 in prizes. So until next week, this is Fred Wolf just saying, keep 'em bowling out there. It's great. Matching shirts and slacks used on championship bowling by King Louie. Championship bowling is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us to produce championship bowling.